Together. I'm Mel Gacee. Today is Tuesday, February the 10th. How's everybody doing today? We are having an interesting sideways day in the market right now. I'm going to go over all the details here in just a second, but if you're here, I would love it if you would say hi and drop your name in the chat. I would love to get to know you and get to meet you. This is a friendly, interactive stream, and I welcome traders of all levels, but I'm especially fond of helping new traders. So if you're new, if you're confused, please drop your hi in the chat and ask me any of your questions and comments. This is one of the very few places on YouTube where you can come for free instruction, free live trading, free help. There are not a lot of people that are doing that on YouTube. So take advantage, get your questions answered. Just jump on here and don't be shy. All right. Well, we are looking at a little bit of a sideways move here, as you can see. We would call this a pennant. Like remember the old fashioned baseball pennants that kids would put on their wall in their bedroom. It's basically it's a sideways triangle, right? You can sort of see it here, and I'll draw some lines so that it makes it a little bit more clear. And a pennant pattern is basically a continuation pattern. Well, I need my line tool. There we go. It's basically a continuation pattern, meaning that, oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time. Come back. Meaning that we are basically sideways and we are consolidating is the main idea. Okay, so see right here, let me shorten that up. Right. Oh, mercy me. You'll have to be patient while while I fight with my drawing tool. All right. There we go. There we go. Let's zoom out a little bit so you can see it better. There we go. I did it. All right. Okay, so this is our pennant or our triangle, whatever you want to call it. A continuation pattern. We are forced into the nose of the triangle. Price action gets forced into the nose, and then we break either to the upside or to the downside. It's basically, think of it as a spring coiling up energy. As it's forced into the nose of this triangle, it's going to pop one way or the other. So now we just have to wait and see which way it's going to pop. We are really close to an all-time high here. So let me show you what the daily chart looks like so you can see exactly how close we are. Here's the SPX. So this is the S&P 500. Gavilan, good morning. Good to see you. All right. Here's our daily chart. And you can see right here, this is our all-time high. This is the highest we've ever been in all of time. That's why they call it the all-time high on January 28th. We hit 7,002 on the SPX. So 7,000 was a big deal. You know, I remember a year, 2 years ago, people saying 7,000, you're crazy. But here we are, we're at 7,000. And then we immediately pulled back from there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. We don't really count that as a pullback day, but 6 days of dropping right in through here. And then a strong pullback. So Friday, we had this big push and then followed it up on Monday, yesterday, with another push. And today we're just kind of like, I don't know what we're doing. That's what the candle is saying. I'm not sure what we're doing here. But look how close we are to the all-time high. Here's the high of today sitting at 69.86, which is what, 15, 16 points from this high? Nothing, right? But what are they doing? They're playing cat and mouse like they love to do. Let's go back to the minute chart and you'll see what I'm talking about. Back to that triangle. You can see they pushed it up here and gave it a, all right, I'm looking at puts, guys. 696 puts. I'm not in them yet. I'm just looking. Okay, all right. You guys are moving too fast. All right. I am in the puts. Punch it. Those are for today's expiration, of course. And we've got a little bottom here. Let's see what we're going to do with it. All right, I'm out here. That's 5%. That was a super quick trade, guys. Sorry, I was mid-sentence and I saw that opportunity. Oh, and there it goes. Okay. Let me know if anybody followed on that one. It was super fast, but it was a quick 5%. I've already made, I've done really well today. Not to brag, but I've made my quota and then some. So I'm not super wanting to spend a long time in any trade. But there, look at that. Okay, we're getting a test of the 200 right here. This blue line right here is the 200 period moving average. This is, of course, a minute chart. So this is a 200-minute average. Now, here's exactly what I was just saying. We're going to break this triangle, which we just did as I was speaking. We broke the triangle, we broke the VWAP, and then boom, we got that little dump right there. So I'm going to take these off because they've served their purposes. We know what happened, and it's over. So getting this little round over here. After, what did they do? They held out the carrot, guys. That is what they do. They came all the way up here to 69.86, 15 points away from the all-time high. They could have done it just like that in a half of a minute candle. They could have hit those 15 and boom, we would have made a new all-time high. They purposely do not, because in my opinion, the name of the game is take money from the retail traders. That's what big institutions are trying to do. They are trying to take money from the retail traders, because where else are they going to get it? They're not going to get it from each other. They're getting it from you and me. Because we come in with stars in our eyes, as new traders, and I'm going to make $10,000 this month. Well, first of all, no, you're not. Not in the first month. And second of all, they set these traps for these retail traders. That's my thinking. I have no real proof of that, but I've been trading a very, very long time. And I think that's what goes on. Retail needs, institutional traders need liquidity. What is liquidity? It's just a fancy word for saying they've got to move the stock prices to where they need them to be so they can make money on the next move, whether it's up or down. So this is every move. All of the stock market is liquidity. What is this push up here? Look at that. What is that big green push there? What is that about? It's about liquidity, because what did they do? They just turn around and dump it. We're almost back down there. What is this push down? Liquidity. They'll turn and push it back up. So every move you see in the stock market is based on liquidity, and it is based on institutions taking money from retail. Remember that. You are their liquidity. If you don't know any better, you will be their liquidity. So that is why we trade together here, and I try to help you with what goes on. So what was the trap today? The trap was, oh, come on in, the water's fine. We're going to go hit the all-time high. I'm not saying we won't hit it today. We could. But that's the trap, right? Oh, look at this strong green push. Come on, guys, the water's fine. Come on in. We're going to go hit the all-time high. Everybody pile in. And then what do? Boom. No, we're not. Psych. No, we're not. So I'm not saying we can't turn and push up. We certainly can. But these are the traps that they set for the retail traders. And so you just want to be aware of what the game is, right? Okay, so let me get back to my ES here. All right. So we've broken down through the VWAP, which is negative. We're holding right now the 200 period. Let's see if we continue to hold it. We had an earlier drop here where we broke the 200 and came all the way down here to 693 on the SPY. The other thing that we need to remember is there is an untested drop that happened on last Thursday night. Dropped all the way down to 670 on the SPY. 670. That's an extreme drop. That is untested. We have not come back there. We have not even visited it in regular hours. That is, I think, it's going to have to be tested. Does it have to be today or tomorrow? No, it doesn't. Does it have to be next week? No, but it does have to get tested. It absolutely does. So we also have data coming up. So tomorrow we get the all of the labor. I call it the Bureau of BS. They're actually known as the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I call it the Bureau of BS because they fudge those numbers, but whatever. The numbers are coming out tomorrow for the non-farm payroll report, for the unemployment number, for average hourly earnings. So those are all very, very important numbers. And we haven't really had a real good number since the government shutdown, or so they tell us. So we're about to get a full report, a full month's report without any, without any changes or revisions, supposedly. So we will see what we get tomorrow morning. Could we front run that report today? Yeah, I think we could. To the upside or the downside. Is it possible that we get a really bad labor report and the market tanks tomorrow? Yes. Is it possible that we front run that today and dump? Yes. Is it possible that we get a great number and we skyrocket to our new all-time high? Yes. Could we front run that? Yes. So we don't know yet what that report is going to bring, but what we do know is it's going to move the market, and there is a possibility that we front run it today. Right now, we've done not much of anything. We're like 8 points above yesterday's close. That's nothing. We haven't gone anywhere. So here's our open, here's our dip, here's our pump, and then we're right back. Where are we? Right back to the open. We haven't done anything today yet. So could we get big moves today? Yes. Could we get sideways action waiting for tomorrow's report? Yes. The idea is we have to trade like water. We have to trade what the charts are giving us. So be aware of what the charts are giving you. Check your indicators. Check the things that I'm teaching you. Watch the VIX. Watch the data. Watch the Magnificent Seven and how they're behaving. Watch this VWAP. These are all the things that I'm teaching you that are going to help you to avoid becoming liquidity for big money. Do not be their liquidity. Okay. Gavilan, I got 10%. That was fast. Had to wait till it dropped again. It was fast, Gavilan. I jumped in and out of there real fast. I think I took 4 or 5%. And again, the reason is I've done really well today. And so I'm usually very careful when I'm in a good amount of profit. I don't want to give it back, So usually if I get a quick little win, I'll take it if I'm already in profit. So great job there, Gavilan. Glad you got a win. All right, we're about, looks like, to break the 200 here. Let's see. Let's zoom in a bit. Getting a little testy here at the 200. And the MACD has kind of been in this little downward spiral here for 45 minutes. It's a good amount of time. It might start to give us a bounce up here. Oh, or we just dump. Okay. All right. 695s. $6.95 puts I'm looking at. I'm in, punch it. Again, I won't stay in too long, and this thing looks like it could reverse on me, so that could be a bummer. Let's see what we get. with that long tail. It should come down and retrace some of it. Or that was a quick sweep. Let's see what we get. That might have been a bottom sweep. All right, let's retrace some of that move down just a little bit. It's giving us a jump. All right, yep, giving us a little jump there. VIX gave us a little drop, so that was a little trappy trap right there. Just when I was talking about being the market's liquidity, I just became it on that trade. No worries, no worries. We should get a dip here at some point. I mean, we've been dipping, that's the thing. Just what I was saying, we've been kind of on this downward move here. So we could turn and push it back up here. Getting a little test to the VWAP. $42 to 51, so 9-point move there. We dipped right below the close of yesterday, which is basically what I call the flat line. All right, there's a cute drop. All right, Gavilan fell for that earlier this morning. I was up and then lost. I know. It's a little trappy, isn't it? All right, we're just sitting on the VWAP here. Haven't quite recovered it. Do you think we ought to see some negative today, some red in the market, but we don't have to. So I'll have to watch this trade for a minute. But yeah, so back to kind of our screen here. It's been a little bit kind of trappy. I feel like they've kind of tried to sucker some bulls in, but they're also, looks like, kind of suckering some bears right now. All right, here comes another little drop here. Let's see if we can get just a little bit lower. We only need a couple of points. So far, they haven't recovered the VWAP, so that's good news for this trade. Down to 7. Come on now, let's go. There we go, that's better. Trying to hold it here. Let's see if we can drop a little bit more. Come on now. There we go. All right, I'm just a little bit green. I'm going to get out. That's a break even for me. I think it'll drop some more, but I didn't like that pull up that they did there. So I'm out. I'm going to wait for a better setup. I got a little suckered in on that drop there. There it goes. Good, good, good. Okay. If you're still in and you're green, I say get out. Here it comes. Moving into a negative, I think. Just what I was saying earlier. I think we're going to try to drop it negative today. Doesn't mean we stay negative or close negative, but I think they're trying to drop it negative. And so remember, what we did get today was retail and core retail sales. Now, if you guys are not following data, I'm here to give you the heads up on the data, but it's really good to go ahead and get yourself a calendar. There are free calendars out there. I think I dropped a calendar up here in the chat last week, but let me drop it again for you. It's important to be up on what's going on and what moves the markets. You need to know that. What is moving the markets? Oh, nice drop. Should have stayed in, guys. Nah, I'm okay with my exit. All right, here's an economic, look at that. Here's an economic calendar, and we are negative. We're going negative right now. All right. Okay, so here's an economic calendar for you. This will give you an idea of what is coming up. And they organize it by, they label it by bullheads, right? If it's 3 bullheads, it's important to the market. If it's 2, it's moderately important. And if it's 1, it's really not. So, look at your economic calendar. This a lot of times will help you. So today, part of the reason I knew we might get a negative day, and it's not super negative, we're not doing much, but part of the reason I knew that we might get a negative day was the retail sales report. That was a really bad number. We haven't seen one that bad in several months. And it was for December. Basically, there was no growth in retail sales whatsoever in December, which is unusual, right? Usually we see that that's where we get a little bit of pump for Christmas, but no such pump. We were completely flat in December, which means maybe next month might even look worse. I hope not. But just remember that those numbers are important. So core retail sales came out and the market basically shrugged it off. So look at what happened here pre-market. All right, guys, I want to load a put again here. I'm loading 695s again. I'm not in it yet. I'm just watching, but this is looking droppy to me. Okay, I'm not in yet, but I'm just watching. All right. I am in. Punch it. Yeah, so anyway, that core retail sales number was not great. It could get worse. We will see. And then tomorrow, like I said, we will get labor numbers, which could also be a problem. All right, there we go. I'm out. Punch it. That's roughly 5% for something. So I'm taking some really quick trades today, and you guys know why, because I'm having, I've got enough profit. I'm taking super fast trades. And plus it's bouncy. See how it's jumpy? All right. Getting a little bounce here, moving up back to the VWAP. Still giving us a little bounce here. All right. There's our little bounce. So I'm going to give this a little time to see what we do here at the VWAP. Remember, this VWAP is the thick white line. That VWAP stands for volume weighted average price. It's an indicator that, wow, okay. I don't know if I trust the next leg down. Let's see what happens here. It's an indicator that institutions do use the VWAP. And it tells you what it's an average of the price, but it gives weight to volume. So see how we get this big volume bar right here? Let me move these guys up so you can see it. Look at how big that volume bar is. When we get volume like that, the VWAP adds weight at that level. So that's why it's called volume weighted average price. So it's not just price, it's also volume. All right, not sure if I trust another leg down here, but I do think we are going negative at some point today. I'm going to watch for a recapture of the VWAP to the upside. And you guys know a couple of the indicators that I use. I'm looking at the MACD. I'm looking at the VWAP. I'm also looking at this moving average, the one that's going between magenta and turquoise. It's called the Hull, Hull, the Hull moving average. I watched that. So we're getting a little bit of curl up on the Hull. We're getting a curl up on the MACD. So I'm not trusting another leg down just yet. I feel like we might recover and push up before we push down again. But I mean, that doesn't have to happen. Anything can happen. So I'm just watching. Okay. Back to the 200 right here. It's trying to hold the 200. The VIX is up a little bit, but mostly pretty close to flat on the day, up just 0.6%, just a little bit elevated. All right, I'm going to hold here. Even if they drop it again, I'm not going to take another put right now. And let's take a look at the leaderboard. This also helps me to determine what direction we might be going in. So we are below the 200. That's negative. We're down below the Hull. That's negative. We're down below the VWAP. That's negative. So we could get another leg down. Do you see how it's been kind of lower, low, lower, low, lower, low, lower, low? It's been doing these lower lows. So we could get another lower low down here. That's a possibility. So back to the leadership. Let's look and see what we've got. So the things I look at for leadership are the other indices, the Magnificent Seven stocks. So those are the top 7 or 8 stocks that make up most of the NASDAQ and a big chunk of the S&P 500. So Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, Google, NVIDIA, Broadcom. So I look at those to give an idea of what direction we could be going in, because as those stocks go, so goes the NASDAQ, so goes the S&P 500. So I'm always watching those. I'm always watching the VIX for leadership. And so right now, we do have Microsoft up, Tesla up about 1%, Amazon up about 0.6%. The Russell is the index holding the 2000 small cap stocks. It's up about 0.4% today. The Dow is up also 0.4%. There we go. I don't think we're quite dropping right now. I was kind of suspicious of another leg down here. So far, it's not given us one. The Qs, right? That is the NASDAQ, right at its flat line, 0.0%, 0.02%. We're sitting at 0.1%. So everyone just kind of like hanging out there. Not any real move up, not any real move down to speak of, even though we do have this. It's not really a huge move down. It's kind of small. But that's what the leadership is showing us. Then I look at an ETF called MAGS, M-A-G-S, MAGS. That one takes all of the Magnificent Seven and puts it in one ETF, and that to tell me cumulatively as a whole, what are the MAGs doing? And so right now they're down about 0.17. So not very much, but negative. So Apple's down 0.3, NVIDIA 0.4, Broadcom 0.5, Meta almost a full percent, Google almost 2%. So we've got a little bit of a mixed bag, and that's why the MAGS as an ETF is just kind of like a little bit red, but not super, super red, because we've got some green and some red on the MAG 7. All right, just kind of holding here. Looks like or Hull to roll over. Not seeing a move in either direction just yet. Still watching. There it's dropping again. I am going to load some puts here, but I'm not ready to get in them yet. The 695s is what I'm looking at right now, but it looks like it wants to drop, but I feel like it could be a little trappy as well. We've got a low down here. So I'm going to wait right now. It just feels a little trappy to the downside. So we either want to see a drop below this low or a push over the VWAP. All right, there's that little push there. See how they kind of, I call it inducement. They're kind of like inducing you to take a trade where it feels like it should drop, like this long wick candle. And then boom, they change it up. I'm not saying it's not dropping right now, but I am saying got to watch for these little trappy sets, these little traps that they set, right? So if it recaptures the 200 right here and makes a run for the VWAP, then I'll wait a minute and watch this move up. If they do some sudden big drop down, I want to see it beat this low, which means we might not take that trade. So if they drop it down and we beat this low, I might not take that trade just because I don't know how much further down they're gonna push it. So, all right, we're sitting at about 5 points over yesterday's close. So right there, 4 points right there. You can see it on the ES. Not strong. It's not strong, guys. And we haven't seen much strength today. We did see this crazy run up shortly after the open, but that's about the only strength we've seen so far today. And then I was talking about retail sales. So that number came out right here, pre-market at 8:30 Eastern. And we did get this little dip here, but by and large, pre-market just shrugged it off and just kept climbing. But I had a feeling, first of all, they didn't climb very far or very hard. And I had a feeling they might try to pull it down. So they did, and then pushed it up. But really this, like I said, this is the only sign of strength we've seen all morning long. So I'm seeing more weakness than strength, but overall it's just sideways. So that's what you have to remember. So here's the open, right here is the open. So right where my cursor is, and if you look to the right, we're just shy of the open, not by much, just by a little bit. So we haven't gone far. And again, big data coming out tomorrow. So we need to see, does the market want to front run this data, or do they want to pull sideways until tomorrow? And again, front running can be moving up or down because big money might know what the data says. We don't, but big money might. And so it could go either way. We don't know what that labor report's going to look like. Okay, so still not dropping it. Just holding right here at the 200. See how it keeps coming up and trying to tag that? Tagged it here and here and here. Just kind of sitting right there. Trying to make a decision. Trying to go sideways. No trade for me right now. VIX is also moving sideways. So we did get a drop on gold and silver today after they pushed up again, but today it's dropped a bit. So we've got gold sitting at about 1.25% down, silver at 4.4% down. So bit of a drop on silver there. Bitcoin's still struggling, but holding on by its teeth over here at 69K. It did drop lower than that, but it's been trying to hold 69. Let's see if it can. All right, another little move down here. Another little rejection off the 200. You can see it right there. They're not dropping it yet, and they're not pushing it yet either. So again, to move up, we want to grab this 200, then we want to grab this VWAP. Once we get over that, we might start to look a little bit more bullish. Right now, it's just kind of in this little sideways zone. To look more bearish, we want to see this low get taken out. We want to come down and make a new low down below 694. So let's take a look at the volume. I keep the volume on my options chart, options chain, I should say. And we've got big volume sitting at 696 on the call side. Next highest one is sitting at 698 on the call side. On the put side, we have 695, which is kind of just below where we're sitting, and 694. So kind of right here on the put side, but on the call side, we do have some volume overhead there at 698. So something to be aware of. And what's the highest we've hit today? 696.5. So 698 is a good bit above us if it turns and wants to run. Okay, here comes our test of the VWAP. We just tried to recover the 200 here. This blue line right there, that's the 200. Okay. Back down below it. So still sideways. See, the last several minutes, we're just doing this sideways motion. All right, I'm going to take a quick look at Gamma. Okay, Gamma shifting a little bit. We're still in positive Gamma. We do have a pretty big put wall at 690. And we've got our call wall sitting at 697, 696, 697. Okay, coming back down again. All right, it's getting a little bit more weakness here. Can't quite seem to recover the recover the 200. So a little bit of weakness for sure. All right, I'm going to jump in those puts, punch it. See if we can get a little quick drop. It is still, it's a bit range bound still. Oh, big green candle there. So still holding that range. Okay. I'll give this a minute. That's a big green candle. So another attempt at recovering the 200, attempt at the VWAP here. Let's see what we get at the VWAP. And to hold the VWAP, let's see what we can do. Little tiny move down below it, but still trying to hold it. Recovery. So we're just a little bit over the VWAP right now. Let's see if they push back down into range. All right. So currently under the VWAP just by a little bit. There's a little move down for us. That's nice. Back into range. That's good. So we're still right here in the middle. So you can see the range right here. This is where it's been, right in through here. We're getting closer to the bottom of the range. Still sort of holding this little bottom level right here. There we go. All right, I'm out. Punch it. Let's see what that was. I don't even know what it was. That was about 10%. All right, I don't know if y'all followed on that one. That was a little bit nerve-wracking. I hope you did okay with it. So there we go, guys. 3 winning trades on the stream today. Congratulations if you followed on any of them. I know they're fast. I know it's a challenge sometimes, but that is the style that I've developed. It's called scalping, day trading, and it's my style is in and out real fast. I don't want to be in long. Of course, that one we had to hold a minute because of this range here. But I hope you guys were able to profit or at least kind of watch and get an idea. Oh, hi, Guy. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. And thank you for that. Gavilan got a better entry and got 17. Okay. Yes, sir. Very nicely done. I love that you guys are following me. That makes me really happy. I'm glad that you guys can get some wins out of it. I'm missing my my Anna this morning, my inner joy vibes. She's not here yet. All right, nice little drop here. Look how it continues down. So our next test is, of course, this low right here. Remember, I was talking about that. I said we got to beat this low. So that'll be our next test, and it may be that we just range today. I've been kind of feeling that we're going to get a red. I think we'll dip into the red today, but I'm still jury's still out in my mind as to whether we're going to get any real movement up or down, or we're just going to hold as we wait for all the unemployment numbers or the labor numbers tomorrow. So again, if they front run it, they don't have to do anything. You know what I mean? They can pull it sideways all day long and still front run it. They can jack it up high at the end or drop it hard at the end, or they don't have to do any of that. But I do have a sense that there should be a drop coming. And like I said, doesn't have to be today, but remember that untested low beneath us at 670. That is a big, big drop. 670 is a big drop. So, not saying we're going to hit that tomorrow. I'm just saying it's there. That level is there, and I'm watching for it. Okay. All right. All right. So we keep kind of rejecting this VWAP here. Let's zoom out a little bit, and you can see we keep kind of rejecting the VWAP in here. We've tried a couple of times here, a little bit here, here, and here to recapture the VWAP, and we just haven't been able to. Same with the 200. The 200 is rising, and the VWAP is kind of slowly dropping. So they're going to cross. The 200 will cross the VWAP soon. But we haven't been able to recapture them to the upside. So that's negative. On the other hand, we haven't been able to drop below this low yet. So that's positive in the sense that they're not dropping it. It's more rangy, just range bound. And that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. All right. Let's see if they try to take us back up to the VWAP here, or we get another leg down. That's the question mark. You can see the trend line, right? This kind of broke the trend right here to the upside a little bit, but basically we're still more or less in that same downward trend line. We got to start moving up to break that trend. Okay, here we go. Here's another shot at the 200 maybe. Let's see. There we go. Still ranging, right? Still see it. Still see this. The VWAP on the futures is just at a little bit of a different position, and that's because I have it charted slightly differently. But you can see, look on the futures where it's really been hitting that VWAP and not able to really recover it yet, right? What's the indicator for the 200? Great question, David. That is going to be that's going to be the 200 simple moving average. And to get that on Thinkorswim, you'll come out here to this little beaker bottle looking symbol. And give me a second. I'm not going to jump in just yet because I want to watch this trade. I feel like it wants to give up the ghost here at some point. It's trying to hold here, but it's just not. Let me see where it's trying to hold on the SPX. It's trying to hold 69.60 on the SPX. That's a important level. 69.50 has been an important level, but 69.60 has also been hit a few times. Okay, there we go. Pumping it back up again. That's good. So it's in here in this little beaker. You click on it on Thinkorswim. Over here on this left side, this is the list of all of your possible indicators. You just type in simple, SIM, simple moving average right there. You click on it, you add it. It'll show up on the right side. These are your installed indicators. And you can modify the length by clicking on this little settings button, and you can change it to 200 and to whatever color you like. Hopefully that helps, Gavilan. And that is just, it's just a simple 200 period moving average. That's all it is. I am so itching to short this again. I really want to short this again. Got to control myself. I am going to load the puts though. The 695s again. I'm not in them, but I am thinking it should drop again. So right now, it's still just right there in that sideways range. And it keeps trying to test this VWAP. It's just trying. It just keeps getting rejected. All the indicators are saying no, but I want to short it. I'm not doing it, but I do want to. I feel it. I feel it, at least a small drop coming. But I'm not doing it. Okay. See if they make another run at the VWAP. Let's see. Still hold there. Good. There's, it's dropping a little. Okay, there it goes. So we are still in the range, so that's why I'm using my discipline. We are still ranging, so I'm being careful here. They can just as easily turn and spike it up. And we do keep hitting this VWAP here. So sometimes when we continue to hit the same level over and over, sometimes it weakens and we can beat it. This doesn't feel like it, but you never know. They can give us a big solid green push. That's why we got to wait for our indicators to confirm. And the other thing is the VIX is still giving us sideways motion here. So the VIX isn't really giving us direction right now. See how it's just kind of, it's doing the same thing the market is, just kind of going sideways. I'm just not going to get suckered in, even though I really want to short. Now, if we lose this bottom, I might think about it. MACD's rolling, Hull is rolling. We're testing this current bottom right there. Almost flat. We're still kind of holding this bottom here, so I'm being cautious. Felt the FOMO couldn't help and got a 5%. Okay, Gavilan. Good luck. I mean, good win. Glad you got a win there. Still just kind of holding right here. So I'm not in yet. It really is kind of just the bottom of this range still. Let's see what they give us. Little tiny push. Almost going negative, almost. Sitting on its flat line right now. Trying to hold it. Trying to hold it. A little push here. And pretty close to right back in the range. Here we go. It did feel a little trappy to me. That's why I was kind of holding on. Oh gosh, we went super late, guys. Usually, I lose track of time when we're trading together. Trading plan for today is I am feeling like we're going to go red at some point today. I don't mean that we need to stay red or crash. They could front run the data tomorrow. But I do think we could go red today at some point. It doesn't mean we have to stay there. We could stay range bound and we could move up. So how's that for conviction there? Not a lot, but right now it's ranging. That's what we know. As of right now, we're just ranging. So until we really break this range, we just don't know. So trade safe. Don't trade inside the range. It's not big enough. And wait for a break of the range to the top or to the bottom. All right. And we will be back tomorrow to talk about the data. Happy trading. We did great together today. I appreciate having you here. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. gavel in. I'd be okay hanging out with you the rest of the day. You're the best. Thank you guys so much. I will see you tomorrow, guys. Take care. Bye for now.